No intro today, folks. I decided there will be no intro. We're getting straight into this.
Once hailed as one of gaming's most innovative studios, the creators of Halo and Destiny, with Halo being the one that obviously people have a lot of memories of, are now at the center of yet another controversy. And it seems to be something that's pretty consistent with Bungie. Steal someone's art, get caught, absolute controversy, and then silence usually comes right after. Their upcoming extraction shooter, Marathon, has sparked outrage from fans, not just because of its radical departure from the original series, which we're going to get into in this video, but because Bungie has once again been caught up in an art theft scandal. And this isn't the first time either, and if their response is anything to go by, it definitely won't be the last. Today, we're going to deep dive into the controversy behind Marathon, the backlash to stolen art, and Bungie's overall questionable statement, and a troubling history of doing the same exact thing before. So before we get into it, shout out to all of you 87,800 people out there who are subscribed to this channel. And if you are not subscribed to this channel and you are part of the almost 48% that isn't, then consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. So let's start here. Marathon was originally a 1994 sci-fi shooter, which was one of Bungie's earliest cult classic video games, known for its deep lore and ahead of its time storytelling. Fast forward to 2023, and Bungie announces a reimagining, which you hear that word and immediately you're probably turned off.
Sorry, I had to cut that because I'm gonna include gaming footage as well. So let's back what I said. Do people even fall for that? No, seriously, do any people fall for that nonsense when they say they're reimagining it? Okay, look, I'm all for people just to remake everything, but if you disrespect the source material, that is the first red flag. Look what happened with Rings of Power. I can list off many examples, okay? You guys already know your example. Like, say, what is it? The comic book industry?
Reimagining of Marathon, this time as a PvP extraction shooter with no campaign, no Master Chief-like protagonist, and a complete multiplayer focus only. This is something that a lot of people were not looking forward to. When people heard of Marathon being brought back to life, everybody immediately thought of the original 1994 plus sci-fi shooter, but unfortunately, that's not exactly what we got. Too many fans already saw this as a massive red flag. The idea of using a beloved single-player sci-fi classic as a vehicle for a live service shooter, especially a competitive looter shooter of some form or an extraction shooter, well, that didn't really sit well with a lot of people. Fans were quick to point out how little the new Marathon actually resembled the original game. And let's be honest, besides the name and maybe even some slight vague aesthetics, which really are not there, to be honest with you.
Everybody loves the old Marathon. Tell me something. What was your favorite? Okay, you know what? I'm baffled at this point. I just short-circuited it. Hang on a sec. 1 second, folks. You see, here's the thing. You can make live service or single player, but you have to understand, if you keep on saying single player is dead, well, that narrative has already been debunked because guess what? Black Myth Wukong proves otherwise. Yeah, that's true. Black Myth Wukong released, how many players it is? 2 million. And also, Marvel Rivals comes out with another shock or perhaps a slap in the face to the Western AAA. They gained 10 million players in 3 days. Worldwide, single player and live service both can exist only, and I do mean only, if you give gamers what they want, aka the game is playable, stories is good, don't sacrifice it, no bugs, no issues, no performance issues, characters are all appealing, that are relatable, and guess what? Gamers will flock to you. They will support you en masse.
Some slight vague aesthetics which really are not there, to be honest with you. There's not much linking the two. If you were to even understand that there was two of the same company making this game in the same name, you probably wouldn't even realize they were linked. But yes, this is in fact supposed to be a reimagining of the same game from the 1994 series, which it's obviously not. Marathon of today is nowhere near Marathon of yesterday. So overall, reaction to Marathon's reveal was lukewarm, I guess you can say at best, or honestly, pretty damn hostile, which that's not shocking considering what we saw. Players were already frustrated with Destiny 2's direction, the state of Bungie's live service content, and how they've seemingly shifted towards monetization first design. Marathon, instead of being a fresh reinvention, looked like another cookie-cutter extraction shooter trying to capitalize on trends that they're just a little bit too late on. And this is the hilarious thing about all of this, right? Bungie, just like many companies, tend to try to jump on trends, which I find to be very interesting. We saw this happen with the Battle Royale trend. We saw this happen now with the extraction shooter trend. Every time a certain live service style video game blows up, you're going to have 4, 5, 6 years down the line of studios all trying to do their own version of whatever the hell blew up 5 years prior. But many longtime fans felt betrayed, not just because of the lack of campaign, but because Bungie chose to revive Marathon just in the name, and that's it. Essentially using nostalgia bait to hype up a game that doesn't even honor its roots. And then obviously things got worse because, well, I mean, they always do. Social media lit up with accusations that Bungie had stolen concept art in Marathon's promotional material. The accusation came from a digital artist who posted side-by-side comparisons of their work and Bungie's key art, and let me tell you, the similarities were undeniable. Obviously, the artist claimed that they were never contacted, never credited, and never compensated. Bungie, after some silence, issued a brief statement saying that it was a coincidence, that they had investigated the matter internally, because of course, anytime you investigate yourself internally, you are totally being honest with yourself. That's obviously not true.
Yeah, that is quite true. It will be not true because we all know these AAA, they don't tend to be honest. I mean, when's the last time any of these AAA games or AAA companies ever be honest? Yeah, they attack gamers, they attack very people they want to cater to, and look what happened. The game flopped. Now, it won't be as successful like Dragon Age, but I'm more worried about the art, or perhaps in this case, the people who work there. So far, I haven't heard anything, well, except for Sony or anything. People are lighting up. Yeah, they're being roasted to high heavens. Although, if the people who make Marathon attack gamers, oh no, I'm not taking it back. I'm increasing it. Even though this is 600%, if they do it again next time that this video went live, then I'm increasing it way higher.
Of course they did, right? Let's be clear. This just wasn't an inspiration, right? This just wasn't like, oh, you were inspired by XYZ. No, of course not. This was a blatant ripoff. This was a blatant, hey, we took this and put this into our game. Keep in mind, Ubisoft has done this same exact thing when they were noted that they stole the Sekigahara Core flag and put it into their game and into their art book, which is still there, by the way. It's in the art book, it's not in the game. But these companies do this because their artists have no creativity whatsoever. They want to go the shortest route to getting the best benefit they possibly can. But again, this is not just inspiration. The composition, the colors, and even the brushstrokes were practically identical, and fans were not buying the excuse. Then Bungie's statement was overall clinical, vague, and ultimately dismissive, like they always are. They didn't acknowledge the artist by name, didn't offer any kind of compensation or public apology, and instead tried to pivot attention to their internal process to avoid future issues. And every time they talk about, oh yeah, we're gonna make our internal process a lot better, and yet you keep doing this over and over and over again, you keep getting caught over and over and over again. It makes you wonder, are you really trying to do things to make it better? Are you really trying to, I don't know, like fix any kind of internal process that you have? Because it's very clear that this seems to be your internal process. It seems to be that you guys like to go online and steal from artists who don't have a voice to fight for themselves. And we're going to get into this in a second because that voice has absolutely exploded.
Well, Bungie, congratulations. You played yourself. What are you trying to do, Bungie? No, seriously, what are you trying to do? Listen here, can't take inspiration, okay? That's okay. Look, I'm all for inspiration. But look, you're an artist. You can't just everything without permission. And then you make a statement, not just PR stuff or corporate PR stuff. Just like Ubisoft, they stole the flags, but they didn't even bother to just change it. And you wonder why Ubisoft's games are now kaput, finito, and now gamers roasting it to high heavens. And don't think you shills want to say otherwise, okay? Oh, no. You're not getting away. Don't think that by disrespecting Asian culture is warranted an excuse, okay? You're not getting away from that. No way, Jose. This game is pretty much gonna flop, and sometimes it's going to take just one wrong move for Marathon to be kaput finito.
Twitter, we got evidence of that. But it was ultimately classic corporate deflection strategy. No accountability, no transparency, and worst of all, no learning on their part whatsoever. Fans were quick to point out how similar Bungie's response was to past controversies, and yes, that's because this has indeed happened before. Believe it or not, this isn't new for Bungie. Back in the Destiny 1 and Destiny 2 days, multiple artists came forward with accusations of Bungie using their designs, compositions, or character art without their permission. One notable case involved a weapon skin that looked almost exactly like a design from an artist's ArtStation portfolio. Bungie again denied it, said it was just a coincidence, and swept it under the rug. There were at least 3 documented incidents over the years, and that's just the public ones. This pattern of quietly borrowing community or independent artwork and passing it off as internal work has been part of Bungie's shady underbelly for years, and now with Marathon they've done it again. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna put up on screen the pictures from the artist whose name goes by N2, it seems like, on Twitter, and their handle is 4NT1R34L. And if you look at this post, he says, or she says, I think it's a woman actually, she says the following: the Marathon Alpha released recently and its environments are covered with assets lifted from poster designs I made in 2017. If you look at these art pieces side by side, you're gonna notice something very blatantly obvious, is that on the right...
My god, what are they doing? Bungie, what on earth are you trying to do? Are you trying to get Marathon to go under the dust? You know what? I really won't take it back. Whether the game is released or is released, whatever it is, Marathon is kaput, finito, dead on arrival. I'm not taking it back. Honestly, at this point, if they settle for a lawsuit, which I highly doubt the original artist is going to sue them, hopefully Hypnotic will get into that, I don't know, but if they do settle in a lawsuit, ooh, Bungie is cooked. I mean, they might as well cancel Marathon.
Of what this person designed, and on the left you see what's in the Marathon game. It is not inspired, it is a literal ripoff. On the poster you see it say ALEPH, and then it says Dark Space Haulage Logistics, and if on the left you notice, it says the same exact thing, ALEPH, Dark Space Haulage Logistics. They didn't even bother changing the freaking name of whatever the company this person was putting on the poster. It's the same exact company. There is no difference whatsoever. The exact same image has been ripped from this person's poster. If you look at the second poster over here, you're gonna notice that a lot of things from the second poster are in fact in this actual gameplay. Now here's the funny thing. These arrows that you see on the picture, really not that big of a deal in my opinion, because these are like pretty typical arrow shapes. You see them pretty much almost everywhere in many different video games. But the damning evidence is at the bottom of the poster. They have a whole bunch of symbols and icons and a bunch of squares, one of which is literally this person's logo for their brand. And if you look, it's right there on the game on the left side, highlighted on what looks like to be a flag of some sort or something along those lines. So the entire personality of Marathon has essentially been ripped from this artist, and it is insane to see them think that they could get away with this. There is in fact a third poster, which you're going to see on the left side of this picture on screen, and if you look, obviously it's a bunch of symbols, but these symbols have been copy and pasted to be the exact same thing inside of the game itself. It is insane. So ultimately, it's pretty clear that they definitely had their art stolen. Now here's where the amazing conspiracy comes into play.
Before that is blatantly lazy. Have any of you ever wondered, where did these big AAA companies, Bungie, Rocksteady, or even Activision, where did they get their art people? Huh? Or even better yet, Ubisoft. Ubisoft even admit that most of their talents, most of their employees, they don't know how to make. They don't even have a experience to make a game, and most of the talents have already left. They make games such as Expedition 33, which I believe I was 8 hours in, because I was shared with my coworkers, and the Steam count from 8 hours, I don't know what happened. They suddenly going back to 0, even though in the save file in Expedition 33, it is already 8 hours. On the Steam, my play time is back to 0 minutes for some reason. I sometimes have to go through offline in order to play it properly, because when you're sharing with other people, your coworkers or anything, yeah, that tends to mess around. I think the original artists should just sue them. If they have the resources and the money, anything, sue them, or have the best lawyer.
Post went viral. At the time of filming this video, it is currently sitting at 7.1 million views. And not only that, this person also tagged Bungie and Joseph Across on top of that as well, who is the franchise art director over at Marathon. So I'm sure he's absolutely loving this. And after tagging them, everybody started going crazy in the comments. You see a multitude of different comments from all kinds of people, left, right, and center, talking about how this is wrong and this is ridiculous, and they hope that Bungie fixes the problem and pays them or hires them or something along those lines. If you're going to design your entire game's brand around stolen promotional artwork from another artist, you might as well hire the damn artist, right? You might as well pay them and hire them, back pay them and hire them. But here you have this post going viral. But here's the conspiracy, right? The funny thing, the most hilarious thing out of all of this is that it has been found out that this artist that they stole the work from, multiple people over at Bungie, including Joseph A. Cross, who is the art director for Marathon, follows this person and has followed this person for years.
Bruh.
So you've been following this person, looking at their work for years, taking inspiration from their work and basically ripping them off, and you're trying to pretend as if you had no idea about it. This is insane, and it's not too shocking to see this go down. So Bungie is overall risking their entire game, their entire company. They're risking their reputation, which, to be fair, they don't have too much of. But after all of this is coming out and being revealed, I gotta ask the question, how are you even going to deny this? Well, in all fun fact, Bungie actually did release a statement talking about this situation. Let me read you their actual statement so we can discuss this together. So Bungie said the following. They said, "We immediately investigated a concern regarding unauthorized use of artist decals in Marathon and confirmed that a former Bungie artist included these in a texture sheet that was ultimately used in-game." Bungie further stated that we are conducting a thorough review of our in-game assets, specifically those done by the former Bungie artists, and implementing stricter checks to document all artist contributions. We value the creativity and dedication of all artists who contribute to our games, and we are committed to doing right by them. The company also noted that it has reached out to the artists to discuss this issue and are committed to do the right by the artist. Now, the amazing thing about all of this is that this person, they had a massive amount of support from the community, and everybody's trying to do the right thing by the artist. She got a bunch of donations to her Ko-fi page or Ko-fi page, however you call it, and she said the following: "Completely overwhelmed by the response to this. Thank you so much for the support, and especially to those who have donated. It helps enormously."
Shout out to N2. I think that creators should got enough. You know what? Here's a suggestion. N2. If you're watching this, if you have the resources or the talent, anything, create your studios. Find talented writers, or in this case, talented creators, artists, writers, developers, whatever it is, start a new studio. Take examples with Expedition 33. Find talent. If any of you have talent and the money and the resources that you have, go for it. Make new studios. Or you can sue Bungie if they refuse to do anything about it. Let's hope Bungie do this and do the right thing. Man, I hated this. What we take from this? Stealing is stealing, okay? Look, you can take inspiration. There's nothing wrong. If you want to, you have to ask the creator itself, what did you do? Or perhaps, or in this case, how can I make a better art than yours? How can I take inspiration from your art? Ask the creator, the original creator. Take a look at me. I'm still learning, and I'm still doing the best thing, and I'm still trying to take inspiration from other creators. No, I don't steal them, okay? What I do is see them, study them, and I will learn what can I do better than them. Here, let me give you for example, Carcinogen SDA. I watched a lot of his no damage run video because I need to try myself. And no, I'm not doing no damage run, okay? No way. It made me want to learn how can I do a better challenge run than him. What kind of challenge could I do? Think about that. You can take inspiration without stealing, but you have to make your own version and, most importantly, be yourself. That's the advice every creator should receive. Be yourself and keep creating. That's all.
I'll help.
Me too. Thank you, both of you.
Leave a like and subscribe if you want woke or anti-woke detected, or you just want to see me play games, or you just want to see trending topics. Visit my second, third, and fourth channel up here or link in the description.